How do, and welcome back to Vlad Tepes, where in this episode we're back with the Centurion.
Nice one, Centurion. Like it. Shut up!
Slow progress. You've seen all this before, but I have pretty much attached this, put a screw through inside I've superglued it on and then drilled a screw into it to secure it. I'll show you what I've done with the smoker and the insides in a second, but first of all let's start it up. And then I'll look at the smoke. I've got the volume low so you can hear the motor on the smoke a bit more than normal. Rev it. You can see there, it's although it's because there's no air movement in here, but the main thing is it's coming out equal and it's coming out better. And we'll have a look at that now.
I'd buy that for $1.
So this is the story so far. It's got a double piece folded over lead lining in the bottom to give it some more weight. 2 pieces of rebar that were out of another vehicle on the middle there to give it extra weight. The new motors are in. I got a new battery in. I've only put a 2200, had an 1800 in before. This is a little bit bigger and I know it's a better quality one, but we'll see how it goes. Can always put a bigger one in if I need to. Haven't done anything down here. And then here I got a old spanner, an old wrench, RC wrench, drilled it through that way, and then blocked this end, sawed this end off, blocked it up, and then put pipe into there, blocked the other hole up because it was 2 pipes coming out. One always had a lot of smoke coming out of it and the other one didn't, so you're going to be on a loser there. So what I've done is I put a screw in one, the one that was always low, and the one feed goes into there, and then measured these pipes exactly the same length and put them on, so you'll always have equal distribution. And then I drilled 3 holes in the end of the exhaust tailpipe there. That should help disperse the smoke out a bit better when there is a bit of airflow. But yeah, I'm hoping that when it moves, I have pushed it over obstacles and it does seem to conform a bit better than it did before, because the problem with when you've got a light plastic vehicle is when it lifts up over the item, the whole thing will just sit up on top of it and the suspension won't actually work. Whereas now it's got some considerable weight even without the turret on.
The older birds have more on them.
True. It'll take a lot more stuffing.
It's heavier than I thought, to be fair. Can't get it to move. So if I put it on this here, you'll see its own weight will conform the track wheels, and it sits back down over it. So that's what I'm after. Now the issue might be that the gearboxes might not take it. If they don't, I'm going to replace them. But I'll see how it goes. There's no point having a really light vehicle. It won't move like a tank is supposed to move. And that's the beauty of usually why I buy the metal tracks, metal wheels at least, because you're going to get a bit more weight and realism from it. Now in here there are 2 servo outputs, it says on the instruction booklet.
Consult the Book of Armaments.
So one is for the turret elevation and one is for the recoil, turret recoil. Now I've plugged 2 servos in there and fired the weapon, nothing happens.
Computer says no.
So until I can figure out what's going on, why are these just not connected, or do I have to do something else? I don't know. Anybody know? Because unless I can get those servos to turn, I'm not even going to attempt to do the servo recoil. And I'll just leave it as it is. But for now, because I've got stuck on the turret issue, I didn't bother to pursue it any further, and I thought I would continue on with the modifications that we're doing. Hopefully get some paint on it tomorrow, because I'm pretty much well, I'm almost there now. It's just a few details I've got to find. I'm going to make a plate for here, and then I can start putting some paint on it, because the wheels I've got to 3D design and get printed in resin, so but I can add those on at any time, so that's not an issue. The main thing is getting up and running. So this morning I made a fair bit of progress. I'm going to try and not be so depressed and downbeat when I'm speaking either. So apologies for the previous part of this video. What I've done is I've used some old 3D printed parts that were failed prints, or a raft as they call it, what you start printing on. I just kept it, all these kind of pieces, so I just cut that down to shape, put some filler on for like a wild bead effect. The lights I had to reshape, re-drill, and because they were on here somewhere, like there I think, put them on and wire them all in, extend the wires inside. It took a while getting all the wires in through the holes properly. Cut these bits of glue stick and stuck them over there because it's quick. And then the part that wasn't quick, drill all the holes around here and make these little wire grab handles. So they are, especially this one was a pain, and they look kind of cool because they're all slightly different and bent here and there, like I assume the real ones possibly could. Made one for here as well. Put the details on the back, ready for the toe wires, which I've got to double up because they're double on the real one. Well, it's ready for paint, I think. I don't think I've done anything else. One thing I did discover was to put the lights in, I had to take off these pieces that I had already put on. So if you are going to do the lights and extend them, then don't put these on first. But luckily it was only super glue, so it kind of broke off fairly easily. And I think, boys and girls, I think we're ready for paint. Yeah, we're ready for paint. Woohoo!
Come on, I'll show them to you.
It's called Army Green, but I didn't expect it to be like a lime green. So I don't know if they mean Army Green like your toy soldiers back in the day. But yeah, it's very green. So I'm going to have to try and bring it down with some filters and hope that the luminosity goes down. But we'll see. Let's have a look at the textured effect.
Oh yes, it's very nice, sir.
Worked out well. I'm not going to do the cover for the mantlet until I'm 100% finished with the weathering, but I like how it's come out so far. It's pretty good. It's a shame that these 3D printed parts aren't 3D printed resin rather than FDM, because it takes a lot of work to try and get rid of the striations. I mean, they are decent prints, but you're always going to get striations. They take a lot of filler primer and a lot of coats of paint to try and get rid of those marks. And there's still a few, but I'm hoping that once it's weathered you won't notice. But this kind of thing should be printed in resin, really. I mean, they're small enough, so it's not like it's under a lot of stress or anything like that. I'm going to have to try and fill this gap here. It's looks like it needs filling. This one's okay, the glue's filled that one up. But I'll fill it with something when I'm weathering. Oh, also I did tilt these out slightly, these exhaust outlets. I tilted them this way because I'd seen on pictures of the real thing they were tilted rather than straight. So when I got them out to drill them and put them back in, I thought I'd do that too. But I think it looks good so far. All comes down to how it looks when I start weathering it. But obviously I've got to go backwards. I've got to go dark, put shade into it now because it's already light. But yeah, it should be okay.